Right. Hopefully everything's working. Because OBS forced an update on me, so we're gonna hope everything's working properly. Welcome back everybody to Whispers of Hope, our Dungeons and Dragons D&D campaign based on Legend of Zelda. I am the DM. Zom is my name, and we'll go through our normal intros as usual, with our fancy person who's got fancy new art first up top with Vivra.
I was gonna mention that, but yes, a gorgeous new look. I am Rhettaliate, aka Nova Retta, aka Vivra Locru, the Twili druid.
Other person who has new art, but not technically new because it's a year old, but it's been in existence for a year.
I've been waiting. Hi, I'm Jaxi. I play Wythr, who is dead.
Dead. Just dead. Damn.
The most wild update.
Attention shoppers, Wythr is dead.
Oh no. Akari, go ahead. Hey,
I'm Sky / CeruleanxIris. I play Akari, the Shiekah rogue.
our resident dad.
Oh, I just didn't know if I was muted or not. I'm AlistairForgall. I play Velkorin, the fox archer.
And Toto.
Hello, I'm Kael, or KaelosMythos, and I play Toto, the artificer.
And then once again, I'm Zom. I'm the Dungeon Master for the campaign. We are starting a little early today because I have a hunch that it might go long, so we're going to start a little early just in case it does go long. But yeah, I'll first start off with our good old inspiration start off. Oh, and you guys get lucky. Everybody gets today, which is perfect, I
Yes.
guess. Roll the
Oh,
six.
I just realized I didn't use mine last time. You
I'm
know,
gonna
that
use
would've
it
been
right now.
For shame.
Feels bad. So yeah, everybody gets their inspiration die for the day. And yeah, no fancy announcements for me. Anybody else wants to announce anything? I don't know if there is anything. Otherwise, we'll just jump right into it. Because I know, because we didn't hear anything. So yeah, just as a recap of what happened the last session, the party had essentially got set up to go out to their continue on into the desert, where they unfortunately encountered a odd sandstorm, which kind of blinded everybody. Couldn't really see where they were going, and somewhat assuming they got lost a bit. They kind of decided to just hunker down and wait out the storm, seeing as trying to progress any further wouldn't be a smart idea, so they kind of just hunkered down near some heavy, larger rocks to see what happens. During their wait, they were attacked by shadow beasts. Multiple ones. They slowly made their way to dispatching the beasts, and afterwards they had a group of Twili soldiers that had walked through an odd barrier that cleared up the storm. And then after that, it seems like the leader, who was clad in much more intimidating armor and had a mask that glowed red, immediately lunged towards Vivra once he saw her. And in the process of him lunging, time seemed to stop, and everybody fell for a while, and then they woke up or were alert in an unfamiliar desert, where the only one who seemed to recognize where they were was Wythr. Since Velkorin wasn't here, I'll let Wythr re-describe what her appearance is without her mask and such now. She revealed it.
Okay. So, we arrived here. Wythr recognizes the location, and her whole body language changes. It's like somewhat stiffens up and anxious. and you hear her sort of quietly say, "No," and she removes her hood, and that same magical darkness is still covering all of her exposed skin and hair and everything until she takes her mask off, and then the darkness goes away, and you see that her entire body is transparent, dark blue, and ghostly. She has wavy hair that goes slightly past her shoulders, a crisscrossed scar above her left eyebrow, and there's a huge gash scar that goes about halfway around her whole neck. And you see her reach towards her throat instinctively, as she often does when she speaks. And she says, "It's exactly as I remember it." And then she bolts off and running into the desert towards the structures.
Just as a added on thing that all you guys seem to be able to notice immediately, like the world around you seems very desaturated. Like, it's very odd. Like, all the colors seem to be faded. And even if you kind of are looking around out to the distance, after a certain point, it looks to just get blurry and can't really see anything after a certain distance, no matter where you look.
And it doesn't look familiar to anyone but Wythr?
Correct.
Okay. Vivra's lying down. And she's straight up, she's like, we've died. I'm dead. This is it. We're done. And then you run off, and she like looks up a little bit. But is it like sunny? Like, how's my eyesight right now?
It is currently sunset.
Okay, so I can kind of see okay. Unless she ran towards the sun, in which case it's like, ow.
It's sunset, so you can see as normal as you can in the sunset.
Yeah, she almost doesn't believe what she sees, and then she's like, you know, if I am dead, that makes sense, actually.
Seeing Wythr run off, kind of just taking a moment to examine the surroundings first, Akari will probably get up and kind of follow her so she's not alone or separated from the group.
What are Velkorin and Toto doing right now?
Just observing the location and trying to gather as much information based on what I can see as possible. Since we just appeared here.
Yes.
This isn't normal. This doesn't just happen.
Yeah. Something was obviously different. Like I said, you were gone too, so essentially like I said, with the soldier that lunged, whatever. Either way, attacked Vivra, and then at that point, it felt like time had just stopped, and everybody was slowly falling into the sand. And then after a while, it felt like you guys were just falling for both forever, but not long at all. It was very odd, and then it seems like you guys just blinked and you woke up in this unknown desert where, like I said, Wythr is the only one who recognizes where they are. So.
My dream was a vision, and that vision was death.
Wythr is running off, and Akari is following Wythr.
Yeah.
Vivra is laying in the sand, contemplating what is life.
Yep, basically, not contemplating the lack of life that she believes they are in.
Velkorin is getting the lay of the land, and what is Toto up to?
I think Toto is like dusting themselves off, but also saw that Wythr ran off, so I'm gonna follow her.
Right? Well, since Wythr is running off, we will continue with Wythr. What are you doing, Wythr?
Wythr knows exactly where she's going. I am looking for, well, not really even looking, but I'm heading towards, there's a city here, right?
Yes.
She's heading over there.
There's definitely a sense of anxiety. Like anybody could notice it almost immediately once Wythr had revealed herself that something's going on, and when she sprinted off. But you make your way to the city that you're assume where you know where you're going. I guess Akari is attempting to catch up to you. Whether or not,
Yeah.
I guess, are you gonna keep going, or are you gonna let Akari catch up to you at all?
She's not waiting for anyone. She's off. She's going. Like, she's not concerned about anything except for this one thing that is on her mind right now. And what is happening around me right now? What are the surroundings like?
Once you get into the city, you do see that there are people and soldiers around, kind of just speaking and to each other and minding their own business. Nobody really seems to notice any of you. You understand what everybody is saying, but anybody else who followed you, so Akari and Toto currently, the language they're speaking seems familiar, but it's still weird for whatever reason. For a few minutes, it feels like you can't understand it. Then all of a sudden, you can understand it, but it's not a language you know. But for some reason, you understand what they're saying. Very odd. Does sound very similar to Hylian, but slightly off. But again, for some reason, you guys are able to understand what is being said around you. It is sunset at this point, and well, the sun has set at the point of you sprinting off there. For the most part, people are minding their own business, doing their own thing. It's just kind of your own typical desert village. You can see farther off in the background a massive stone castle. And then even to the left of that castle is even more massive stone tower that seems to just continue to reach further up into the heavens almost. And like I said, like Wythr says, she knows exactly where she's going and is continuing in that direction. So, I guess at this point, the three have run off. What are Vivra and Velkorin doing? Since the other three have left you behind.
For a while.
How far away is the city that they're running at?
It's a good, probably a mile away. So they sprinted off directly towards there. And like I said, by the time they got into the city, the sun had set. So we'll say.
Oh, it's been like 10 minutes.
Ish, yeah.
What are we doing for 10 minutes?
Exactly. That's basically what I'm saying. What are you guys doing since the other three ran off?
That's just it. Once they all run off, like at this point, and then like you have the, starfish Vivra in the sand. Like,
How do you know I'm a starfish?
Because that's like the defeated fucking just
Vibes.
right?
Like, every time she speaks, she lifts her arm for a second and then just plops it back down.
I
Yeah.
think what I would do is Velkorin. What he would do is simply just, because they all just ran off.
Wythr sprinted off, and Akari and Toto followed.
Hang
Vivra just said hang on, so I can't really do anything with
No, I'm here. I was freaking out because my child's talking, so I put it myself to push to talk.
Okay. Probably go up to Vivra and like, as far as I know, we're not dead, and we need to get up
How?
and follow them.
Oh, we need to
Smack her.
Ah!
Feel that?
I mean, I'm laying down, so you'd get advantage regardless. But,
Well, it's just like a smack on the forehead. Like, it's not a fucking like, I'm not punching you in the face.
Yeah, he's
Like-
I
punching
thought
you
you
in the
were
boob.
full on smacking. No! How
No, it's
dare
like-
you?
It would be cruel if we could feel stupid stuff like this while we are still alive. Now, or while we're dead.
I was gonna
No.
say.
They're currently running off, and we can deal with whatever just happened after we catch up.
What?
Or a description, like I said. The only real way it feels like you can go is towards the town that they ran to. Everything around you, everything else around you, like I said, it's that weird, you can see for a while, but all of a sudden it just kind of blurs and you can't, it's weird.
Because I would do this the moment Toto also ran off.
Yeah.
So it would they wouldn't be too far ahead of us, and I will. Okay, I'm gonna hold my hand out for Vivra. Like, I need you to hold my hand for this, so we can catch up to that.
Fine. And as she says that, she reaches up and just like lazily grabs your hand. Like she's holding it strong enough, but it's clear it's just like, all right.
I'm not strong enough to lift you. You gotta help. Like,
Well, I'm gonna get up.
as soon as
She gets up.
so, if like this happened the moment I saw Toto run off, they've been gone for what, 12 seconds? That's 120 feet for them.
Whatever. Yeah, they got a lead on you, but you got up immediately. It went,
Yeah,
oh
I'm
shit, time to
I'm
go.
gonna dimension door us in front of them.
Ah!
That way
no.
that way, because it's gonna take a second for Vivra to
Oh,
realize
gosh,
what had
you're gonna-
happened.
Force me through a dimension door.
That's why you're holding my hand.
Ah.
Do I
Ask for
roll for
consent
that? What is this?
He done teleported.
that way, because now it takes a second. It'll take a couple seconds for Vivra to realize where we are, as they then run past us, so we can run with them.
Ugh.
And I'm not gonna run full speed because I'm pretty sure I'm the fastest person here.
Probably.
I have additional movement
What
speeds.
is my-
Oh.
We can make the assumption that Wythr is full sprinting, I would
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah, like, well,
I would
she's
keep
not
pace.
like 100-meter dash sprinting, but she is running. Like,
Oh,
Hey,
yeah, you'd probably
sense
be
of
down.
urgency.
You're doing your 60
Yeah.
or whatever.
I'm
Sense of urgency.
jogging.
Yeah, it's like we're keeping pace. I'm not gonna sprint.
Same.
the people around us and stuff is do I recognize what's happening around me?
Yeah, you definitely do. I
Like-
don't know if I already said it, but like you guys as well are also desaturated. Like you yourselves are also that weird gray out color.
Hold up.
All the color seems to be faded from the world and yourselves.
Here's a weird question for the DM. If I'm desaturated,
Yes.
and then I go into a dark area, do I have a weird ghost sheen, or am I still invisible?
Yeah, if you go into the shadows, you would be invisible.
Okay,
I'm just,
just making sure.
we're just saying, like visually, everything is very desaturated and grayed out. Like a lot of the
Is it
color
like
is
a
missing
video
from
game stealth?
everything. Yes, you are in noir right now.
Okay.
Yeah, if we're not dead, explain that.
You'll find out. Play the game and you'll find out.
She's gonna keep complaining.
Yeah, like I said, Wythr, you like can kind of pick up what's going on, what time it is, what's happening. You probably know what's about to happen. And then, like I said, like as you guys even like you run right past the guards, nobody stops you, nobody even acknowledges you. I even had a few times where like people are about to run into you and then all of a sudden they walk through you, which is extra weird. So do with that what you will.
And that's happening to everyone.
This
not
is
just
happening
me,
to
right?
everyone, correct?
Okay. So you said that I kind of know what's going to happen. So this is like something's repeating
Mhm.
from what I remember, right?
Mhm.
So this, okay. I run towards the well in the city, the old well.
And yeah, so as you guys are, I assume you're all just kind of following Wythr, and for the most part, you can like it's very obvious that she knows where she is. Like she's darting and turning and darting in different places. And like she knows like where you're going, and she leads you towards the well that she just had described. It is somewhat kind of close to the big castle, but it's still a good ways away. You could assume that this is probably the like the main water hole, I guess, for everybody. That's why it's so close to the castle, but at the same time far away from the castle. Yeah.
Because it's an unfamiliar town, Kari would just kind of follow along silently, kind of observe the surroundings, take it in, and see what she picked up on.
Yeah, I'd have to say Velkorin would be doing the same thing. Especially now that we have walked through people. It's full on what has happened. Like, gather as
Wait,
much
we walked
information
through
as you
people?
can.
What?
Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't come back. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
Well,
doing
here I am, right on
Give me
cue.
100% information gathering.
yes. Thorn is attempting to figure out what's going on. Just as a reminder,
May
like
I
I
do
said,
something?
yeah.
I'm gonna go up to one of the peoples and take a picture of them to get some information as well from my Shiekah slate.
We're gonna get some vampire motherfuckers. Oh no.
Yeah, when you tried to take a picture, nothing shows up on your screen. Like it's a blank screen.
Oh god.
Oh, and then,
Toto will move on and just go back to following Wythr.
very good. Yeah, so
Looking a
since
little frightened.
Vivra missed the half second, yeah, you guys were sprinting into the village, or castle, town, whatever. City, there we go, that's the word I'm looking for. And it seems like everybody's ignoring you. The guards didn't stop you as you ran through the gates. You were just kind of keep running, and it looks like you're gonna almost run into some people, but all of a sudden they have just phased through you like you're not even there. And so, yeah. And Wythr is sprinting off to a specific location, and she seems to know where she is. So whether or not you guys keep pace with her to follow behind her, it's up to you guys. But that is what is happening right now.
Akari will keep pace with her.
Again,
I don't think we need to be in a hurry.
Why not? We're dead, right?
Again, the language you guys are hearing is similar to Hylian, but not similar at the same time. Like you have no idea what this language is, excuse me. But something is making it so you can understand it. Velkorin, it's very similar to like when what's its name? Pippin casts the tongue spell on you, where you can understand what's being told to you, but even if you don't know the language.
Is there any sign nearby?
There is, but it isn't a language you don't understand. Oh, never mind, you do understand because you have your bullshit eyes.
Eyes of the Roomkeeper!
So it is.
Magic.
It is just generic, like you'll see a thing that says town shop or inn, etc. It's typical city language, but again, it's not a. You can read it, but it's not a language you understand.
Am I able to identify what kind of language it is, or no?
Like I've described, it is very similar to Hylian, but it's not Hylian. So
they're definitely a place that puts their town shops in etceteras, so we have to be careful here.
These bastards.
Right?
Really? That's what you're focused on?
I'm not going to make any dead comments. I don't want to deal with it right now.
He's just very confused. I guess back to your fearless leader who's sprinting.
Fearless, yeah, sure.
Fearless leader.
She's full of fear right now. Fearful leader.
Yeah,
Fearful leader. Okay, so she sprints towards the well. And once it's in view,
at this point,
just this big hole in the ground, she freezes about 30 feet away from it, just like in terror almost. Like she's sort of frozen.
say at this point the sun is completely gone. There's still that kind of 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock glow in the sky, but for the most part the sun is gone and night will be starting in 20 minutes probably. But, so yeah, Wythr has found the well that she was looking for. What is everybody else doing now? You guys have stopped running.
Let's just go down the well.
Once we catch up to Wythr and Vivra's slowing down, she's actually starting to look around now that she's had a good 10 or so minutes. And she's like, what is this place? And she almost because they've been following Wythr, she almost directs it towards Wythr, even though she's still sort of behind her diagonally as she's walking up.
She's kind of she's not totally listening right now. She's staring at this well fearfully, and her hands are trembling a little bit. You asked where they are? Or what is this place? You hear her very, very quietly mutter the word Ikana.
Can I roll a history check or anything on that word?
You would not know this word at all.
Okay.
Not to just nope you, but you wouldn't know, and if you wouldn't know, I'm not going to make you roll for it.
What if I got a nat 20?
Even if you got a nat 20, you wouldn't know.
Okay, it's not in any books that I would have read or whatever.
No.
She's got a good history stat.
So no
all right,
books or nothing that you would have known.
In that case, she'll
when Toto catches up, can I peek into the well?
Well, you can see at the very bottom of the well, seems to be a landing.
Can I use see invisibility with my lens of truth?
It's on. Nothing is currently invisible.
What if I look around? Is there anything I could see, maybe off?
You can roll a perception check if you would like.
Okie dokie.
Everyone
It's
is
a
caught up
21.
now, right?
21.
Oh, nice.
And just for thematics, you guys can all see that Toto's eyes kind of, normally they're kind of like that orangish color, I think. Or
Yeah.
Okay. But for a second, they seem to almost turn red, kind of similar to Akari's, as they are looking around. And you don't, if somebody's invisible or not visible, they're not there. I mean, you would have seen anything, but as far as you can see, there's nothing out of the ordinary that's hiding from you.
I have a question. Is Wythr just staring down the well?
Yeah. Well, like staring in the direction of it. She's 30 feet away from it and kind of froze there looking at it. So she's not like leaning over or looking in or anything. She's like looking in that direction in like at the well with fear.
Then Velkorin will walk up, stand next to Wythr, and just put a hand on her shoulder, just as like a "we are still right here."
She seems to kind of like collect herself a little bit, like she's a bit more present again, remembering that you guys are here. And she starts kind of like looking at her hands, like the little tiny bits of skin that are showing through the wrappings on her hand that is transparent and blue. And she looks up at Velkorin and says, "You knew, and I denied it at the time."
Knew what?
We all have
He knew
reasons
that
to
she
keep
was
our
undead.
secrets. Yeah.
No, Vivra says that because
Oh,
Vivra,
sorry.
Vivra, right
do
now,
what?
yeah, Vivra's like, we're all ghosts. So what does he know?
Do I still have my limbs if we're ghosts, by the way?
You guys are not ghosts.
Yes.
We're
No.
just Casper.
Vivra believes they are. So that's
Uh,
why Vivra says, do what? Like almost like incredulous, like what?
Wythr is the only one with
can-
a slightly transparent sheen. Everybody else
Okay.
is solid.
um,
You do have your
Okay.
limbs, Toto.
Okay, thank you.
we're not Casper, the friendly ghost over here.
No.
Just gonna look at Wythr. We all have reasons to keep our secrets. And I look over at Vivra. I think that question is something that she will answer when she's ready.
And being dead isn't ready enough.
We're not dead.
You keep saying that, and I'm not really seeing evidence to the contrary. Even that freaking slap or whatever, we could be in hell.
I go over and pinch Vivra's arm.
Ow!
Just everyone pinching Vivra, slapping Vivra, like, girl.
Vivra, I'd like to bring to attention that you're from a different plane. Wouldn't it be more easier to understand if we were in some kind of different plane currently? Yeah, listen to the child.
Tiny soldier screams in the background.
Yeah.
Wythr, stop screaming.
Guys. Yeah, okay. Vivra goes silent. Excuse me.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god.
What happened?
Vivra's getting attacked by the demons. Apparently we are dead.
The voices in her head.
Voices.
That's the sound of her stress in her skull. As Vivra says, as Velkorin says, I'm sure she'll tell us when she's ready. Wythr still looking towards the well, and her eyes kind of occasionally darting to the people around us that are kind of like faded and passing through us. She says, I think you're about to find out.
What do you mean?
Just gonna nod at her and keep a hand like on her shoulder. Even if she starts moving forward, like just walking up, like like that suit, like well, when you're stressing or something that has like the hand on like the upper part of your back, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
But not the creepy thing when your teacher comes behind you and like touches your
Slowly
shoulder or
rubbing
something.
it with a single
And you're just like,
finger,
no, not like
making
that.
circles. What am I writing?
So they're trying to be comforting, but you're like, no, it's just weird.
Stop touching me.
Exactly.
Get your hands off me.
So
We can.
if
What are you
Akari
doing?
walks up to the well and looks down it too, how far does that landing look? If it's the
Oh my god.
It's probably about a 20-foot drop. The deep
Does it look
well.
like something that can be? Does it look like something that can be? Is there something that looks like can be used for climbing up and down there?
Yeah, there's a ladder that goes down it. Or bars, I should say, that are attached to the
Akari
wall.
starts climbing down the well.
There.
And then we'll examine around her when she's at the bottom.
Yeah, when you get to the bottom of the well, you can definitely see that there seem to be corridors on either side of you, long corridors that go deeper into the well. It's pitch black, though. You cannot see.
I have dark vision, though.
Okay, you can see 30 feet, and then it's dark as fuck.
So it just seems like two different direction corridors, and that's about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Should we pause while waiting for Retta, or?
An ad break is about a hit. Second. So.
Give it a minute.
So how about that sports ball?
That sports ball. How is everybody's emotion going? What is in everybody's character's head right now? Bullshitting right now. We already know what's going on with her brain's going crazy. But
this
Toto's fearful but curious.
The tone and stuff. Forgall is not Forgall. Velkorin is showing. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Forgall, when did he get here?
Weird. No. Oh. Velkorin is showing. Since this is clearly a place where there's some connection to Wythr would be able to tell that his mask is off.
That's very interesting.
Like,
as in figuratively,
his
right?
emotional
to
mask.
clarify. Yes, yeah.
This is him.
Not to
showing
ruin the poetic subtlety, but
showing her that, hey, we made a deal, and this is important, so I will be real with you.
Oh, my heart. My little dead heart.
I am confused that the ad said to snooze and it was starting, but the ad...
Yeah, because you already had all 3 snoozes.
I know, but the ad didn't start. There it goes.
There it goes.
I was like, where the hell was the point of warning us if it doesn't go?
Later. Just ad break ends in 1 minute, 22 seconds.
I was just confused.
Oh, yeah, there it is for me too.
The timer was ticking down and then it was gone, and then I was like, where's the ad?
An ad about anxiety? I can't relate to this.
Yeah, today's session is sponsored by Xanax. Not
really. What about anxiety? I had it about dyeing hair or something.
What is going through your head right now? Sorry. Especially now that you're at the bottom of this well that I guess Wythr, did
Bottom
you
of the
react to
well.
that?
Akari hopped in.
Oh, I see. I was like, when did we do this?
Just Akari.
Well, most so just kind of curious, kind of in a reconnaissance scouting mindset right now. And of course, wondering how does it all relate to Wythr?
Yes.
Then she climbs back out the well.
And I guess Vivra, since you were back, what is currently going through Vivr's mind right now?
Well,
Wasting away the ad break right now.
she wanted to believe that they were dead because it was easier to accept than the idea of everything else that's happening right now, which is Wythr's been dead the entire time. And that is something that started stirring in her head the moment like her mask came off, and she's like, no, it's we're dead too. That's what it explains it. But like she could see her own hand and that it was different, and she was trying to be in denial about that. But the less in denial she is about that, then other stuff starts flooding into her head that she also doesn't want to process right now, and so she's trying really hard to only focus on what's going on with Wythr. But it is starting to... her mind is getting too loud in the moment. And so it's frustrating and scary and upsetting.
Yeah, I guess last chance for anybody to react to something, whether they want to talk to Wythr for a couple seconds or not. Keep moving on.
And you said Akari jumped into the well right in front of us?
For a brief minute, yeah.
Wait, is Akari back or something?
Yeah, she climbed back out.
Oh, okay, because that was gonna like change everything basically, because it's like, well, that happened. But Wythr is still very like obviously terrified about something, right?
She's slightly more present and calmed down than before, but only slightly.
Okay. Can you remind me what the word was that you gave Vivra? I didn't have a chance to write it down. Ikana?
Ikana. Ikana.
I-K-A-N-A. Okay, I gotta
It
write
sound
that
like I'm
down
at a
in
spelling bee.
Oh, I dropped my notebook.
Jokes are, you are now! In front of the king!
It's all just a bad dream where you're at the spelling bee and then your pants fall down.
Yep.
Oh no!
And you spelled the
Can you
word
use
wrong,
it in a
too.
sentence?
Okay.
Language of origin?
So then as she's like trying to essentially like silence her own head, she's like, so this place, you're scared for a reason. Could you tell us why?
There's a bit of trembling in her voice, but actually her voice isn't as... it doesn't sound as strained as it usually does. Like that...
You can clearly.
Yeah. Her voice isn't raspy anymore, or like it doesn't seem like she's struggling to speak anymore. And she says, you're going to see everything. I'm going to see it again.
And Vivra's mind now goes to the vision that she saw pretty much every time she looked into Wither's brain. And she, without saying anything more, goes, that one? And she's not like sharing it telepathically or anything, but she's saying it figuring Wythr would know, because Vivra had announced it the last time that she did detect thoughts.
I think she gets what you mean, and she says, no, that was only a hallucination from the woods. Reality is much more painful.
Because it's you two?
She's silent.
Now there's just this huge feeling of dread. And I think Vivra just kind of waits for it to happen.
After you guys have been standing waiting for a few minutes, at this point it is dark now. Night has fully set in. After a few minutes more of waiting, Wythr seems very distracted by whatever's happening right now, and she seems to just be waiting. So I guess everybody else, it's just, I guess you guys are just waiting to see what's gonna happen. But after a few more minutes, there is, Wythr would notice it first because you know what's about to happen. 3 figures are attempting to be stealthy that are starting to make their way towards the well itself. After a few minutes, everybody else could probably notice these 3 that are making their way. You would all notice that they are wearing similar garb, identical to what Wythr is wearing. They're the same robe. As they get closer, you can hear them kind of talking between themselves. The 3 of you don't know the language. Velkorin, you would recognize the language. It is the same language that Wythr was speaking, which you guys do, for some reason, can understand what is being said, but for the most part, it's just them basically talking to each other, and they are planning, essentially, talking about their plans, what they're going to be doing. Need to get in, get out quick. As they get closer, you guys can actually see them now. There are 2 women and a man. The taller of the 2 women, she has her hood up, but her face is uncovered. She has bright blue eyes and brown skin. There's a scar that's just right underneath her right eye. She has 2 small braids on either side of her hair, or either side of her face, and then her blonde hair seems to be peeking through the hood. The man next to them, he has his hood down, and his face and hair are fully visible. He's darker brown skin, black hair in a messy high ponytail with loose bangs and a small braid. He's also kind of just has a cocky and confident looking smile as he's talking to the girls. There's a scar on his face just below his cheek onto like the corner of his mouth, and he has golden yellow eyes. And then the shorter woman has her hood up and then a mask that is identical to the mask that Wythr was wearing. She has lightly tanned skin with wavy brown hair that fades into like white blonde that is visible underneath her hood, and then in her eyes that you can see through the mask are a deep red color. Unlike Wither's normal mask, her face is completely exposed like normal. as they are walking towards the well, they kind of just stop for a second, and then in a hushed tone, they kind of, one of the man asks, "Did you hear something?" And the blonde woman just responds that she's also confused, thinks, are we being followed? And then just the shortest woman follows up with the rest of them that we need to be quick. You guys can obviously take the context clues between, now that you know what Wythr looks like, that the shorter woman is Wythr.
Wythr kind of like clutches at her heart and instinctively reaches out towards them a bit without stepping forward that much as she sees them.
Velkorin still has a hand on Wither's shoulder.
Yeah.
I think Vivra will be on the other side, and on the other put a hand on the put a hand on the other shoulder and be like, you don't have to watch this. You shouldn't.
Since
Go ahead.
most I was gonna say, which is with Akari still kind of being near the well, I'm assuming they're like right by the well, right? If I understood it right.
They're peering over the edge, looking down into the well at this point.
And
They
then-
did stop for a second and kind of look around, but
Yeah, so Akari would just kind of be next to them, listening in, just observing. Just personally has her scarf kind of up to cover her mouth right now as she just observes silently.
and again, was the language they're speaking. Again, you guys don't recognize the language,
But can understand it.
but can understand it. Velkorin is the only one that actually recognizes the language as the language that Wythr spoke to him the one time.
Yeah, he's the only one who's heard her speak her native language so far.
And then I guess Toto, since you have the eyes of your rune keeper on each one of their robes, it's the same thing as Wythr's. It says "Leave no corpse" in the writing on their robe.
Mm-hmm. Kinky. Anyway.
Goodness gracious.
Wythr starts to slowly walk towards the well since she's still 30 feet away from it. Not very quickly anymore.
I mean, you got hands
but-
on your shoulders, but
Yeah.
She tries to move and go, "Huh!"
I assume that you guys aren't actually holding her back, but it's more of like a sign of support.
That's what I'm doing. I don't know what Vivr's doing.
Vivra doesn't think you should watch it, so she's kind of like, if you step forward, she's like, "Hey, are you sure?"
Wythr takes a moment with like a deep breath, even though there's no air going in or out of her. And she nods. Come
Then
with me.
Oh. Vivra's caught off guard by you saying that, and she'll pause and then nod, and she'll go with you.
Yeah, and this is kind of directed at everyone in the group as she slowly walks towards the well.
Then at this point, the trio that is there, kind of all just look at each other, and the man says, "All right, let's get started." And he immediately just jumps into the well first. Straight up jumps into there, no problem. Which makes the two women just kind of sigh and shake their head a bit. The shorter woman who I'll just start referring to her as past Wythr, jumps down first, and the man catches her as she falls down, helps her with her footing, and then the other woman helps afterward, jumps down afterwards with the help of the other two.
I will also jump down the well and follow at this point.
Akari will also jump down the well.
Oh, here we go. Yay!
Vivra's
I think
watching
everybody's
everyone.
just gonna jump.
Cannonball.
I think Vivra just kind
Oops,
of
there's
like
no water.
pauses. Oh no. Vivra
My
watches
ankles.
everyone else at first, and then she kind of sighs and like pinches her nose, and then like the bridge of her nose, as one does when they are slightly frustrated, and and then she jumps after everyone.
All right. It's a little early, but I'm gonna say let's take a short break right now because the next stuff that's gonna happen is the bulk of the session. So I'd like to keep it going without pausing. So let's take a brief break here, just to go to the bathroom, take a drink, whatever. So we're good to go, and then we can keep going with the session. So we will be right back, and then we'll keep going. More drama. My BRB screen. Whoop. And we're back. All right. Alrighty. Pockets full of Werthers. Secrets. Don't tell his secrets, Cap. Jeez.
It's Wythr's originals.
Yeah.
Old world recipe. Wait.
Wait. That's why she's dead.
Oh my god.
Alistair did it.
Old.
Anyways. Yeah, so the trio had jumped down first and you guys had jumped down after. Now that everybody is down below, the light of the moon, which is full tonight, is that beam of light that just kind of illuminates the opening of the well above, but everything else is just kind of pitch black shadows. The ones who
Wythr
can
kind of instinctively backs up against the wall, like the walls of the tunnel around us.
that can see in the dark, I think is everybody. There's two paths forward. There's one straight forward and one behind you. But for the most part, it's dark. I mean, it's a well. There's no torches down there, so it is what it is. The trio are there. They're down first, and looks like the man is starting to go ahead. He's a bit further ahead of the other one. Looks like he's going to be scouting ahead. And the past Wythr kind of reaches out to him and just says, "Koga, wait, be careful." And the woman just kind of sighs and says, "Well, you know how he is," and is kind of almost in the middle of that sentence. She just kind of cuts herself off with a gasp, and she seems to have detected that somebody's nearby at this point. Even since you guys really haven't moved from the way, you can see that the path behind you, some soldiers had moved forward, walking right past you, like through you. And of course, this is when the ad starts. Of course. Anyways, the younger woman prepared to try to move to gain some distance, but it was an ambush that seems to not be planned for some reason. These Akana soldiers, there's a few that pulled out in front of Koga and a few that came out behind, and unfortunately the woman realized it too late before one of the soldiers attacked her with a blade that had slashed her back, making a deep wound across her back from her left shoulder down to her right hip. You just kind of hear the gasps in her astonishment, I guess, as she gets struck by the blade. She kind of drops, and she had the satchel that she was holding flops out in front of her, and you can see a pair of bombs that had rolled out of the satchel into the mud surrounding them. And she's just drops and is bleeding out. Doesn't seem like not much that they can do. I guess just as an added to describe what's in the area you guys are right now, it's obviously it's a well, so the only real dry spot of the well was kind of where you guys landed, and as soon as you kind of go in, it's just wet and damp and muddy and all that kind of fun stuff. With their stop it. It's moist. Yes, it's moist. Damn.
Jeez, this is a serious
moment. Get out of here. With their companion that fell to the soldier behind, the man and Wythr, well, I can say his name because he is spoken out. Koga and Wythr both shouted out the girl's name, Lenora. As she goes down. Wythr, what are you doing?
She's backed up against the walls of the tunnel, trembling a bit again. And just like her eyes darting back and forth, but her eyes are now focused on the bombs that like fell on the ground and then to the soldiers, and then she looks ahead the direction that Koga was going before Lenora was killed, and just eyes darting around.
And like I said, as they attempt to call out their partner's name, she's already seems to have, and she's gone. The man Koga just kind of cries out in anguish and immediately jumps into combat with the other soldiers now that they are aware of their presence, kind of able to get away from the surprise attack that had just happened with them, just based on their pure adrenaline. Both Wythr and Koga have jumped into combat essentially right away. They managed to take out a few of them. At this point, they are surrounded and are back to back, doing the best they can to defend themselves against this ambush. Seems like the information they were told was incorrect. It's kind of as far as they can go. After a bit, the brain got distracted. Lost my place on my notes to make sure I say everything. Sorry. Yeah, it seems like a higher ranking general walks out from the darkness. And confronts the trio, or the duo at this point. Koga and Wythr are engaged with the other soldiers and doing their best to fight everybody off. At some point, the general kind of sneaks up on Wythr and kicks her out of the way. She surprisingly is just flung against a wall, and she crashes against the wall. At this point, her mask does fall off of her face. Koga just kind of lets out a scream, seeing that his other partner has been attacked at this point. He obviously is distracted and concerned for Wythr and turns to look at her before turning back to face the general that just kicked her. Unfortunately, he is stabbed through the sternum by the long hooked blade that the general is wielding, piercing right through him as he starts to cough up blood. And you can see that Koga starts to reach for something in his satchel when one of the soldiers lunge forward at him, cutting the satchel away from him, which lets, again, the satchel sprawls out and the bombs roll out of just out of reach for Koga. I missed a slight part with the lady, so she hasn't quite expired yet, but you can
Rewind.
Slight rewind. She's not quite dead yet. You can see that she's trying to crawl to the bag of her bombs and just very haggardly saying, "Leave no court," before she does unfortunately pass before she gets to the bomb.
Is there anyone around me, since Wythr has kind of backed up to the walls of the tunnel?
I would be.
I guess what is, as a slight pause, again, just want to know what's going through everybody's mind right now. What they're observing.
Whether, if Velkorin's the only one next to her, Wythr kind of grabs onto his sleeve and is just holding his sleeve while watching.
I think Vivra's watching, but as she sees the bombs roll out of 2 of the bags, and I'm assuming past Wythr has a bag as well.
Correct.
Yeah. She's starting to back up a little bit because she's like, I know this is probably just a memory, but I don't know how real this well is gonna be if it collapses on us. That's what's going through her head.
Yep.
Akari would be kind of silently watching, but if her face was looked at, you would see kind of a flash of anger in her eyes, despite her mouth being covered, and a hand almost reaching for her blade, but of course, realizing everything goes through them, so wouldn't be able to cut it.
Or what's going through your mind? His mind.
Give me 1 second. I just put a piece of candy in my mouth.
Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Don't worry, Wythr.
That's it. That's what Velkorin's doing. He's eating candy right now. He's stressed.
His only priority at this point is just supporting Wythr. He understands the situation and he's watching the situation, but the situation has happened. It's done. What matters is Wythr now, not what happened then. So he's focusing on just making sure she has comfort in some way. Again, he's not hiding his mask, though. He doesn't have to feint anything at this point. He's got his focus.
Mm-hmm.
Toto, what is going through your mind?
Trauma. How about I introduce you to trauma?
Our Lord and Savior, trauma.
Trauma bomb. Trauma llama?
Trauma queen.
At this point...
Trauma.
At that point, you see the general pull his blade from Koga's chest, and he just falls to his knees and kind of slumps over as well. Looks like he wanted to try to say something, but because of where he was stabbed, his words just don't come. And Wythr, dazed after getting knocked to the ground, just kind of looks up in horror as she sees both of her partners who had fallen. Excuse me. Again, stupid hiccups. She's kind of just looking around frantically, realizing that Lenora's bombs are spilled and the fuses are wet. Koga's bombs are on the ground and he's not able to reach them. She pulls out the 2 bombs in her pouch and looks at them for a second. You can see that at this point she is crying now. Blood all over her face, covered in blood, covered in mud from the ground. And she speaks out, says, "I will not leave your corpses dishonored," as she lights both her bombs and hurls them towards the bombs near Lenora and the bombs near Koga. As the bombs set off, it's a massive explosion in a almost like green-like flame. It's like not neon green, it is neon green, electric green, bright green, like the green of my character's eye normally. As an explosion of smoke and everything, the bodies of Koga and Lenora are incinerated in the chain reaction of the bombs. Most of the soldiers are also incinerated in this explosion. The general himself takes the brunt of the explosion, but doesn't kill him. He's still alive, but has heavy scorch wounds all across his chest. The pieces of armor that were on his chest have broken off, and you can see scorch marks all over his chest. And for a second, he just kind of grunts and groans in anguish and pain, and gets up and immediately marches toward Wythr, grabbing her by the hood, picking her up, and then pulling the hood off as he swings his blade into her neck. The blade unfortunately doesn't cut clean through, but as you can see the blood just runs off the blade as it also is trying to speak, but nothing comes out. The guard takes the blade, drops the body, leaves it there as she just slumps over and bleeds out. He turns away and starts to retreat down the tunnel and gathers the remaining soldiers and just says, "Quick, we need to return to the king to secure the palace. We have to make sure that there were no other Garl spies that got past us." As he walks into the direction that the trio were starting to go. He walks back.
Wythr flinches as her past self is nearly decapitated in front of her.
Well, we don't have time to unpack that right now.
Until we figure out how to get out of this place, I think we have more time than you think.
Wythr kind of shakily walks over to this memory of her corpse and falls to her knees beside it.
I think Vivra will, after waiting to make so the bombs, they just did a whole incineration thing, but we didn't feel it or anything.
No.
Okay.
Ironically, the explosion engulfed you guys, but nothing happened to you.
Yeah. So once she's like, okay, well that's fine. She'll
That's fine.
Yeah,
This
so
is fine.
She checks herself and just like, oh well, I wouldn't have made it out if that was real regardless, but I'm glad it was literally just a memory apparently. And then she's gonna walk forwards and she's watching this and she's still conflicted in a way, but she says, "You're still here because you never are you still around because your body's still here?"
She flinches a little bit at that. And she opens her mouth like she's gonna respond and just doesn't say anything, and she's just slumped there.
And Vivra, in a way, knows that it may not be the best time for that question, but some of these questions, there's never exactly a good time for it. Do you know why all of us are in your memory right now?
I have no idea. She looks around at how things are still like kind of desaturated and fading, and there was some weird stuff going on before we got transported here, right? In the sandstorm, like the guy froze.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was as if a time stop went off. But our characters probably wouldn't know what that is.
Would I, if I were to roll some kind of check, would I be able to get any more information on or insight on why we're here?
Mm,
Or if someone else wants to try to figure it out?
I mean, Vivra definitely wants to figure it out.
trying to think what kind of role that would make sense.
It could be
Guess
potentially investigation or insight, I would think.
the insight seems appropriate.
Can I do that? Can I do the roll as well? Or if I can't, can I give her the help action somehow?
We'll say since Wythr initiated it, she'll do that. You can, I guess, attempt to help. I don't really know how you're going to help for it being
You can
insightful,
do.
but
We'll both do our own rolls. That's fine.
I asked the question, but it's like moral support.
it would be more appropriate to each
Jog
do
my
your own
memory.
insight check if that's what you're trying to
Use
do.
the memory
Yeah.
stick. Quack.
Yeah. Whoops.
And you said insight?
We'll do insight. If based on what you guys have seen and what happened before, if you can infer, or at least get a guess on what you think might be going on.
I got a 16, so that's, pretty solid.
So is this like everybody who wants to try, or just the two at the moment? That's it's a
Anybody
confusing
who,
situation.
I mean,
If
it's
someone
going to be
else,
really
like-
hard for you to figure it out, but I'll let whoever wants to try to figure out what's going on, I'll give you hints based on your rolls.
Okay.
Might as well roll. Let's try rolling, because Akari definitely gonna try.
I'll go last.
Oh, that was terrible. 16 total.
That's not terrible, but we both got
Was it-
16.
it
That's
was an
pretty
8.
cool. Oh, well then, I mean, but, oh wow, your insight's so good.
Yeah, 8
Uh,
plus 8.
Does anyone else want to roll before me? Because I rolled
Masterclass
decently
insight
well,
wisdom.
so.
Go decent with the rolls.
Remember, everyone has one inspiration.
Yeah.
That too.
Okay, I rolled a 23.
Whoa, look at you go.
Obviously you can infer that you were sent here for a reason.
Mhm.
Especially for you, Wythr. These seem to be memories that you've been trying to repress for, at this point, millennia for you. Which, at this point, you are aware that of how long you've existed.
Ugh.
For the other two, it's hard to really understand what's going on because neither one of you has really experienced this.
All I
Vivra,
could think.
the closest thing for Vivra is you can. It reminds you of the time when you fell through the portal. But outside of that, something or someone must have sent you guys here for a reason. But you guys gather.
So for Vivra, it's almost a sort of in between, would you say? Because you said it's when she fell through the portal.
It's that similar feeling like when she had fallen through the portal. Yeah.
Okay.
Where you woke up, you don't know where you are, what you hear, or what happened. The
Someone seems to want us to know this information.
I interrupted Akari, so what were you saying, Akari?
Sorry.
What I was gonna say is Akari would just say, all we can really do is scout around and see if we could figure out something.
We will also say that as time has been guess what you assume time has been passing. Similar to like when you were looking out in the desert. At this point, the path behind you and in front of you have that blur, just like when you were looking at the desert. After a certain
like,
distance, that
This is
blur.
the zone. Wythr is sitting there still, is kind of half talking to herself and half talking to the party. I've repressed these memories for so long. Centuries of shame have passed since then. I failed my rights as a Garo robe.
What rights did you fail?
She stares at her body.
She didn't get rid of herself. Sorry. Vivra says that out loud.
He left the corpse.
And by the way, I don't think Vivra ever was told what's on her shirt, or at least I don't remember her being
No.
told.
Just
But it's
Toto
the inference
knew.
right now that
Yeah.
those two were incinerated and her body was the only one left behind.
Mm-hmm.
It was the connecting of the dots, just in case.
Yeah,
anyone
because
thought
you
I
could
might have-
also
yeah.
hear Lenora say something along the lines of "Leave no corpse."
That's right, she did whisper it. Yes.
Yeah.
So inference, common sense.
Yeah,
Vivra is
Toto.
very smart, even if she doesn't act like it.
Toto knows what the robes say, and Toto told Velkorin, but
Yes.
they didn't tell anyone else yet.
Yeah, since Akari was, at least going by what I had in my mind, closer to the other two, surrounded by the knights, you might not have heard the whisper from Lenora. So that'll lead her to ask, of course, and be the only one to not know anything about that text.
I would say, like, actually, like, this observant lets you read lips, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the three of you that have observant would have seen that the Wythr that got stabbed got cut in the throat. She also said the same thing, leave no corpse, as she expired, but obviously didn't say it out loud because she couldn't.
Okay, in that case, yeah, then Akari would know from.
You guys, well, actually, just two. When we were traveling, and Vivra had the tarot card, the novelty tarot card, Vivra and Velkorin would actually recognize all three of these people from when Wythr was holding that card, and she changed it herself. Like, it changed into three people instead of two. You guys were both sitting next to her, so you could have seen it.
Yeah, I mean, Vivra's seen the two of them enough times to
Yes,
recognize
also
them,
from
but Velkorin would have, yeah.
Yeah, Vivra has seen it in Wythr's memory of the hallucination she had in the Lost Woods.
Yeah, the false memory. Yeah. I mean, Vivra doesn't want to mess with the body, but she's also not entirely sure. If everywhere else is blurred, what happens if she tries to walk towards where the commander went?
When you, so you're gonna try to walk that direction, okay. As you start walking that direction, everybody else sees you kind of fade into the blur, and then now you're at the other side of where you walked in.
I'm at the other side of the blur.
You're at the other side of the blur. Now you're walking
like you
towards
looped?
I looped.
You looped.
And she kind of looks around and she's
Well.
like, well, this is okay.
If there's like, there's probably ash particles in the air and stuff, like, is it moving? Is time still going?
Seems to be still. That you noted.
After a little bit of thinking, Vivra's gonna kind of like brush her hand over her face as it and place a hand on her cheek and say, "This might sound terrible, but what if we try to destroy this memory body of you?"
Wythr nods really solemnly. She reaches out and I just pass through it, right?
Yep.
She pulls a bomb out of her satchel, and it's identical to the unique bombs that the trio from the past had. And she's just kind of holding it there in her lap.
Okay, so I don't want the rest of us to blow up with her. What if first I try casting Moonbeam on the body?
Oh my god.
Damn.
She's like trying to be delicate about it, but she's like, listen.
Excuse
I'm
me, pardon
trying.
me. Sorry.
Listen, she doesn't know how else to put it. She's like, we have to find a way out of here.
You have created a spotlight for the corpse. Congratulations.
She hasn't done it yet. She's asking for permission from Wythr. She's not. Excuse me.
I thought you said you cast it.
No. She asked permission to cast it. She's not gonna just do it. Oh my gosh. That's why you, excuse me, pardon me.
Wythr looks up at her.
So bad.
And
she's trying so hard to help right now, even though she's kind of upset at you.
She
Wythr!
Yeah, we just had a conversation with Toto about this. She looks up at Vivra. She says, "I'm not sure how, but it should be me."
Okay. Then we should try to get as far away as we can. I mean, we're in a bubble right now, basically. You saw what happened when I tried to walk out.
She nods.
Is there something I could do?
Akari points towards the ladder of the well. Mentions we could probably just climb back out.
Is the ladder even still there? I thought we were in a little bubble.
That was the different corridors that have the blurs at them.
DM?
The blur goes all the way up. Well.
Okay.
I could try Dispel Magic.
At this point, the color on Wythr seems to be coming back. Everybody else is still saturated, but Wythr, you seem to start getting your color back.
Do I feel different?
You feel like almost as if somebody's pushing you to do something.
And now that there's color in me again, if I reach out towards the body, do I still pass through it?
This time?
Oh. Wythr, like, she's kind of startled for a second, and her expression changes, and she looks a little bit hopeful. And she's looking at it, and I think I have an opportunity to absolve my greatest regret that has haunted me for thousands of years. She looks over at her mask, like in her past self, the mask was knocked off and fell on the ground. I assume it's still there because it wasn't
Yes.
wasn't far from her. She looks at it and leaves it there, and she looks back at the group. She stands up and she crosses her 2 index fingers in front of her mouth like an X and bows deeply, like a gesture of some sort that maybe you guys probably haven't seen before. It seems I was bested in combat long ago. I remember now something important I learned of your land that you should know. The blade that acted as a seal from millennia ago has begun to wane under the corruption of the one sealed away. One person is seeking the means to find that blade and free the one within. Do not forget these words. Die I shall, leaving no corpse. That is the law of the Garo. And she ignites the bomb and holds it there next to her corpse in the past. And you just barely hear her also add, you mustn't mourn what was already dead from the start.
And with her final words, the bomb ignites. Blast explodes. Something seems to stop the explosion from hitting the rest of the party. As you see the body disintegrate within the explosion. And after a few seconds, you see the spirit of Wythr fade away in mist. And then there's another bright white light.
Oh my goodness.
All of you are surrounded by this white light that is, it's very a comforting light. Not even a, like, it's not like the first flash when you came in here, it's just a light. And in the background you can hear slow ticking of a clock. That just the I don't know how to make the proper sound, but just tick tock, tick tock. And after some time of you guys just in this presence, you see a figure start to make its way towards you guys. It appears to be a woman who is just embraced in this similar white light, but obviously not blinding compared to everyone else. And she gets to you guys and just looks at all of you with a soft smile, and as she just says thank you for helping her.
You're leaving? Vivra says, "You're leaving?"
She's already gone. I'm not the one you're talking about. She has been gone for a long time. I was watching over her where I could. I took pity on her soul. I've been using my powers to hold her in this time period. But somehow she fell where I couldn't reach her. When you guys got into this desert, I was able to call to her spirit and bring her back to this point, which dragged the rest of you here. I am the goddess of time, and I gave pity on this poor soul, give her a chance to ease the regrets that she had.
And they're now eased.
Yes.
I know she's already gone. If she's not coming back, is there a way we can say goodbye?
You'll get to say goodbye. Might not be right now, but eventually you will. Just trust me on that. She is gone. What's going through everybody's mind right now?
I think some tears fall from Vivra's face. It's sad, yeah, but part of it is still that disbelief kind of clinging.
You feeling? Besides what you said in chat.
So Akari still has the scarf over her mouth, but it's clear that she's tearing up or something. Kind of like keep it, she used to keep it things inside, but clearly tears were leaking or something. And even her eyes might even seem red while doing it. It's weird, but she's very to herself with it. As just little bits kind of slip out.
Warren.
I gotta think of how I'm gonna describe this, because he's feeling a very unique emotion, which he doesn't usually let out.
I was gonna say.
So he's just kind of sitting there, like staring at the he understands what is said, but at the same time, like he just was like up front with somebody for the first time and they're gone again. So he's not really happy. To the point that his mask is cracked again. And the part of like the eye on the left that like his like glass part that he can see through that people can't see through, what his special tinted lens is snapped completely out and there's just gloom coming out of it.
Not handle it well. God.
And because she's like the Lady of Time, right?
Yes,
You
this
said-
is the goddess of time.
All these goddesses.
It would be, yeah, it would be anybody who would look would just see like a small, like very bright, like blue tint, like a little like where the eye would be staring through the dark, like the black, the darkness.
You get to see his one
it's-
iris, Vivra.
It's just like
Oh my gosh,
not.
it's like that picture.
It's just not. It's just like one bead is trained right on her. Like he understands the situation. That doesn't mean he's happy with the situation.
Vivra might be a little angry. Along with the other emotions. Doesn't feel fair.
Toto, what's going through your mind?
You definitely see like Toto just take their glasses off and they bring the cloth of the on their arm up to their face just to cover it. Just very obvious that they're not okay.
We asked if she was at peace, right?
Vivra did, yes.
And what did the goddess say?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things Vivra asked.
She said that you might not have been able to say goodbye now, but
Oh, that yeah, that's
you
the
will
other thing Vivra asked.
eventually be able to say goodbye.
I think Toto will open their bag that they have on them and bring out one of the older screens that they had on their Shiekah slate before, the one that Wythr tried to stab and break.
Yeah.
Toto will look at it and then put that glass in the spot where Wythr's corpse was. Is the goddess of time still here?
Yes.
Toto will look up at them and just...
She's assuming you guys have questions, so she's kind of waiting for your response. What you would like to ask her, obviously.
Toto doesn't really have anything to ask. They just want to say, I owe a lot to Wythr. If you're able, can you tell her thank you for me? And Toto gives like a somber smile through the tears.
Gives you a soft smile back. And just says you'll be able to tell her yourself.
Okay.
If nobody's gonna take the talk, I will do it. I will ask questions.
I was thinking about stuff, but it wasn't about Wythr anymore.
Akari ain't got nothing that she can really ask.
I have a feeling that if we were brought with her for a reason, that reason would be for her to tell us about this veil that is breaking. Seal, sorry. This seal that is weakening. And I'm going to assume that you need help.
Sorry. Find a thing. Because I forgot it. There. I found it. Found it. We're good. Got it. Got it. Gonna put our faded feather back on. Where? There. Very.
Whoa.
That faded.
She casted
I
invisibility.
don't.
Joke's on you, I could see her.
Yeah, I put it on. Whatever. I don't know. I guess it just looks like that. OBS things, I guess. All right. Well, it's still kind of there. Let me move it. There we go. Now it's in the right spot. So you had asked that.
What does I'm gonna call it a veil again. What is it?
The veil, the seal
A seal.
on. Okay, I will give you the specific words again that she said, so you guys can write it down this time.
Oh, notes.
It was put in one tab here.
Okay, good. There you go. She had said the blade that acted as a seal from millennia ago has begun to wane under the corruption of the ones sealed away. One person is seeking the means to find that blade and free the one within. And then you asked me what? Got distracted. So start
Wow.
over. I'm sorry.
If the veil is thinning, then you must need our help because we were brought
Clearly
here
we
for
went-
a reason.
Yeah, we didn't get got brought with her for a reason, and that reason is clearly to hear this. So, and with that information, it's easy to assume that you need our help.
That much is correct.
Why
What
would
is-
a goddess of time need our help? Don't you exist in and out of time? Since you basically control it?
I do, and I don't. That's kind of how time works. I don't exist within your realm. That is why I couldn't involve myself with Wythr as much as I wanted. Right now, you guys are in the land of Termina, the realm that I reside over. Don't know much about what is going on in Hyrule, but I did the whole reasoning behind me stopping time for Wythr was because I wanted to give her another chance to fix the things she wanted to do. But unfortunately, when she passed through to Hyrule, it limited my ability to involve myself with her outside of keeping her spirit locked into time. That's why she couldn't remember things anymore. If time had progressed, she would have changed into a poe. And a very powerful one at that. And the life of a poe is not something that's good. So I took pity on her to ease her regrets. I don't know exactly what's going on in Hyrule, but I do know that she needed to tell you that thing. That's why I brought you along.
Do you know about?
Oh, what? Cut out.
Sorry, I said, what realms do you know about?
I know of Hyrule. I know of the Dark World. I know of the Twilight Realm. But I only exist within Termina. So that is the only place I can exist.
So she was in Termina?
Wythr was in Termina when she passed.
Hmm.
Fortunately, using the power I needed to use in order to stop her time. I have stopped her time for thousands of years at this point. Exhausted a lot of my power, so after we're done here, I will unfortunately be dormant for a while, but it was
Why?
something I want to do.
Just because she would have been a powerful Poe? Did
That's part of it,
that?
but
What's the other part?
sometimes people just need to do over.
You used that much power because of a do-over?
Done a lot more for less.
Question.
Next. Mm.
Or goddess or DM.
Goddess.
Yes.
Can you rewind time to the point where I have my limbs back? Or is that not something you can do?
Much as I would like to help you with that. Like I said, I've used up most of my powers to help Wythr, as well as you are not from this realm. So I can only involve myself with people from my realm. As much as I would love to help
Okay.
you with your problem outside of my power.
I would want you to help with her first. But I figured no harm in asking.
If no one says anything for a few more seconds, Vivra will look up and say, "So, what's next?"
Once you are ready, I'll send you back to the present. You'll still be in.
Okay, so another question. Wait, the present? Because I think I was about to die.
You'll be still in Ikana when I send you back to the present. I unfortunately can't push you back into there. You were near a portal, which has allowed me to pull you in, but pushing you back a lot more draining. There is a way to get back to Hyrule within the stone tower of Ikana, which is where you are currently.
Okay. And she's gonna kind of look at the other three and just put her hands together in front of her and step back, I guess.
Anyway,
Okay, so when we are done here, we're gonna go back to the other realm.
you'll still be in Terramina. You'll be just in the present time.
In the present time. I see. Do you have any information on where this... Let me get the notes, since now there's pictures in there. Where this blade is.
Again, it's not in my realm. There are meant to be hints on the other side.
What
It was
does it
hidden.
look
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say, if Vibra's gonna say, what is it? If you don't know where it is, then what does it look like?
It's a purple hilt with a blade that glows with power, with the light that destroys dark. All I know is the blade was sealed away and hidden in a place where nobody could find it. That was the whole point. The hero and the princess were the ones who defeated that beast and sealed it away. Now, over the years, there's no more hero and there's no more princess. So the power that was within that blade has started to wane.
Something not meant to be found.
Right.
Great.
There's an ad break for a minute and a half.
No, I was like,
Oh, no.
damn it. Maybe we should save our snoozes, but wait.
We all got used in the first like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not important.
I will going to look at her and just go, if there's nothing more you can tell us, it's best we get on our way then.
not at this point. It is, you can, like, the light that was in the world is starting to, or like the area you are in is starting to dim and flicker, as you can see that she's straining herself just to be in your guys' presence, to try to answer whatever questions you have while she can. But you have nothing else to ask her. Yes.
Akari would just to get the clarification. So tower, portal, go back to our world.
Correct. Head to the
And know the
Stone
mission.
Tower. You'll need to shoot the blood red spider with a arrow of light that will allow you to access the portal to another realm.
You wouldn't happen to have any of those arrows, would you?
You'll find them within the tower.
Great.
Oh, I'm going to say one more thing.
Okay.
As soon as I know she's about to send us on our way, Velkorin's going to turn, because he would be walking away from her, right?
Sure.
He's going to turn and just kind of like look over his shoulder with the broken side of his mask. That's now like the ears all cracked. It's cracked like all the way down. Like I'm going to need a mending spell if I'm going to keep wearing this thing. And it's like, just like as soon as like the little bead trains on her, if Wythr is at peace, you keep her there.
She is. That goddess herself fades away. And the light, the blinding white light that you've been just kind of sitting in finally starts to fade. You're back in the room you were in, where you left Wythr. The only difference is there is sunlight coming in above you. There are bones and armor pieces surrounding you. And off to the side, where you remember that Wythr had gotten knocked into the wall, you can see that her red mask is sitting partially buried by sand. Or 3 Cephalina flowers growing next to it.
Aw.
Her mask doesn't
Stop this!
Her mask doesn't look to have aged at all.
Can I get a picture of her mask again? Where's a picture of her mask again?
Where's her normal picture?
That's just it. I've been looking at her
There you
her
go.
ghost face all session.
There you go.
I'm Toto,
Hi.
you can take those stills, right?
Oh, uh-huh.
Can you take a still of this so I can use it later?
A photo?
Yes. Photos don't exist, so I don't know. It's a new word for me. It's your perfect paintings that you do.
Your instant painting.
Yeah, your instant painting.
My instant paintings? Okay.
Yes.
I will take instant painting. Hold on. Okay, I took it.
A picture of the mask is what you took a picture of?
Yeah.
Here.
Okay.
Are we leaving it or are we taking it with us?
Does Velkorin say that?
Yes.
Kari goes
Is
Vivra,
she gonna haunt me?
Vivra was looking.
She said not to take pictures of her at all, so
We
Oh,
can
no,
remove.
she's
We can
at
delete it
peace.
once we do what I want to do with it.
She's.
But
at
if she
peace.
haunts me,
She's moved
She
on.
will
She's
blame
not.
me. You can tell her it's
As
my fault.
for
The body, just for reference, the corpse was the important part.
And now it's just a mask, right?
yeah, Vivra was looking at the mask, and when Velkorin actually voices it, she looks over and is like, "I was tempted to, but I don't know. Would she want us to be okay with that?"
Kari takes it anyways, just in case.
I was about to say
She has a.
if nobody took it, I was going to hand it to Akari.
Akari will say
I was gonna say
it'll be a memory.
You do remember that she did look at it and then left there before she passed. Ari is taking the mask, correct? You said?
Yeah, and voice that she can be. If she's mad at me, I'll apologize, but I need the memory.
Okay. I think I have to make it, but I'll do that later. Yeah. Good. Okay. I'll give it to you after the session here. Just well, I guess it's up to you if you want to identify it or not. Or spell the mask.
Yeah, I can identify it.
When you identify it, you realize that the properties on it are, while you're wearing the mask, it'll enshroud your body and your face with magical darkness. If you don't already have a hood, it'll make a dark hood appear over you. as well as once at the beginning of your day, you can choose one skill to gain proficiency in until you long rest. And if you choose a skill you're already proficient in, you'll gain expertise. At the beginning of the next day, you have to choose a new skill, but you can't choose the same one until you wait 3 days.
Okay, so you have to choose a new skill the next day?
Correct.
Okay.
You get proficiency or expertise in a skill for the day, and then the next day you have to pick a new one. Then you have to
Really
wait
good.
3 days before picking this skill.
Okie dokie.
Give that to you and see beyond so you can look at it. There is. I'll read it. That is. I expected us to go longer, but that is what I wanted to plan out just for this session. So we're actually going to end early because of that.
Can I ask a question for the DM to
Yeah.
do something while we are, because we're gonna be back in town, right?
Up to you if you want. What do you guys? Because right now you
Um,
just came back into the present, and you're
Present well, right?
in a ruined, exposed well. Current.
Okay.
Thousands of years have passed. As far as you
Can I do something real quick? I want to pull Toto aside with the picture, and I'm gonna hide for a second, and I want to repair my mask.
What's happening?
I need the photo. So when I repair my mask, I can redo the eye socket.
You have
Ha-
mending?
I'm gonna manually repair it.
Man, if only there was someone in your group who actually had the mending spell.
Wait for me to be done, and you'll know I have not mending it. I want to change the design or coloring style around the eye socket to have that same like black design that was around her eye sockets in the mask. That's why I needed a picture of the mask, so when I am like coloring it, it is the right color. If that makes sense. I will it's gonna be a
So,
tinkering check, so
so basically, those sort of cloudy like wisps on your mask are going to be that color instead.
on the one broken side, the left side. The side that
Left.
always fucking breaks.
Jeepers. Okay.
It's yeah, because
the bot
if you
was
bring up a
doing
picture of
so
her again.
good.
Huh?
The bot was doing so good. It almost got through it
The
all
bot
the way.
broke.
The bot died, or at least not playing it. Oh well. That's fine.
Oh, you weren't using a new one?
I was until I tried to use the new one, and then it said, "Oh, you only get 5 a day," and I used all of them testing it.
Oh. Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, because she has that like design on the side where it has like the inside has the the up
it's showing
part, and then
again.
the side, yeah, like it's just that black design.
Yeah,
It's hard to see. It's hard as hell to see on this picture. You have to go to like her other art.
I know what you mean. I see what you mean.
But yeah, like if you zoom in on it, you can see that it has that like unique design around the eye that looks like some crazy makeup.
Just some fancy eyeshadow.
Yeah, like it's just, but I want to put that over the for the repair. If I'm gonna keep breaking the fucking thing, it's spewing black smoke anyway.
True.
Might as well have some black decaling on my mask, but only on the left side.
Does Toto see you like sewing this and mending it?
Yeah, I need the picture, so that's why I would ask you to come over and help.
Okay.
Especially since I can trust you to not you've seen my face, and you can help me with this, because if I'm not good enough at it, I know you can assist, because I've seen you practically build a fucking robot. like so like
Well,
you're better at this than I am. So this is one of those things where it's like I need your help with this. can you please help me? And like my mask is broken, so I can't keep wearing it without exposing who I am anyway.
Toto will look at Velkorin and simply ask, Velkorin,
Yes.
if it's not too much trouble, can you remember the little design thing on Wythr's poncho that said "Leave no corpse"?
Yes.
Can you put that on my cloak?
I can try. Do you want me to roll some tinkering checks here? Or some checks? What's going on before
Probably, yeah, I guess if you're trying. So you're attempting to repair your mask to make it look more like Wythr's
repair the
design.
one eye socket, so like
It looks
just
like
fill in the gaps, the cracks, and then once I fix where the eye is and put a new lens in, put the design around the eye that she had.
Okay.
I will take a little snapshot of it and send it exactly to you if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me do that. I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
That part, that black design.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it.
That I don't think I'll need it to do anything more with that because if it's at its lowest, it would be a 24.
Okay.
And then for putting stuff on Toto, I'm gonna use my thing. That's better. Toto's is also a 24. It was a natural 1, and then I had to use my inspiration.
Jeez.
I rolled a dice 3 times today, guys.
I put "Leave no corpse" in your skin instead.
It's upside down.
Oh my god.
Yeah, both would be a 24.
Now the real question: do you write it in Garo or do you write it in? Or like,
I would just try to make it
okay,
as close to accurate as possible.
sure.
Close.
Okay.
I've only been staring at it for the last 2 months. I probably
I have a certain kind of tism, and I've just been studying it.
Yeah, I probably would have written it down too because I know I have written it down because I've had to send it out for information. So I've written it somewhere.
Yep.
So I can literally just copy it from my notes.
All right. So you attempt to repair your mask with your subtleties, nodding to Wythr. Toto adds the symbols onto your cloak thing, whatever. That's right, because you have mini Velkorin outfit now. It's not updated yet.
I wish to honor my mother.
Fair enough. Then Akari has taken the mask.
And I make a metal brand, heat it up, and I stab Vivra with it.
Damn.
Oh,
Jesus.
Right on her newly exposed abs.
Yes. Right on that wound. Right on the wound.
Right on the wound.
Gotta close that up.
Why?
It's
Why
gonna
is
be good for
everyone
you.
hurting me?
That was a joke.
All right. All right. So yeah, you guys are with that.
This is when I leave the party.
You guys are going to be left to your thoughts. You guys are now in the. You're still in the underground well, but it is obviously thousands.
Wait, what is this made for Jaxi? Is she leaving?
No.
Is she making another character?
She will have a new character. That will
Are you remotely surprised that our Altaholic has a second character already lined up? Oh my
She's
god!
got like over 100 NPCs. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Just a few. Yeah, you guys are still in the well technically, but it is exposed to the sunlight. As far as you are aware, you don't know how many years exactly have passed, but you know, I mean, based on what Wythr said, you know it's been thousands of years. So, there's sand everywhere. Like I said, the only thing that's kind of left over is old rusted armor pieces. I shouldn't even say there aren't even bones. Bones would have disintegrated by then. But yeah, the only thing that would have been left was her mask and then the Zenfumi flowers that remind you of her scent. That would have been left as well. With that, we will finish off the episode for tonight. Turns out we didn't need extra time. surprisingly. I expected more, but that's okay. That's how it is. Better to be safe than sorry. So we will finish
I
up
want to
the.
keep going.
I know you do, but I only planned for this part of the session. And I don't want to go any further because then we're pulling shit out of my ass. So, yeah, we will.
Like a true DM.
Exactly. We will end for today. Back again in 2 weeks as usual. And we will continue on from there. Jaxi will be in chat and such, but she will probably be out of the session for at least one episode before we figure out what her next character will be in. But she is still playing the game. She's just not playing with her anymore. So
Goodness
we will do that.
She's dead.
She's dead.
She's been dead.
She's
Mom is
been dead.
Mom is dead again.
She told me not to mourn her, but I'm gonna mourn her anyway. Fuck you.
Anyways, so yeah. Thank you all for coming, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Oh yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.